When we're live.
We're live now.
Tell me, are we live?
Oh, yeah, we are.
Are you sure we're live?
Well, it says live in the corner, so...
I don't believe you.
Well,
Boom! Here we are!
You just
Season 4,
scared the cat.
episode, I don't know what. Paul, it's not even 7:30 yet. I know, it's springtime. It's joyous, and we have a lot going on, and we're just trying to squeeze it in. So just run with us, people. It's spring. Joy is in the air. And speaking of joy, we got a whole show about joy tonight. Yeah, it's right. It's National Women in History Month. And I know I've waited. I should have been the first episode I've done. And I apologize. But tonight, I'm going to talk to you about joy. And it's fantastic. But Paul, where's the bar? Well, come on with me. I had to get stuff. And, Paul, where's YouTube? Where's Twitch? Where's everyone? Why is it weird? Just work with me, people. We're trying some new stuff. We have a lot going on. Actually, we are getting ready. We're leaving. Can't wait. For any of my folks out there, ICCFA, we're going to see you tomorrow. So anyway, yeah. So here we go. I've got the ingredients. It's Blue Monkey Quarantina time. The only business is monkey business. And by the way, not only the Blue Monkey, we have a drink tonight called Devil in a Blue Dress. Blue and blue, joy, spring. The stars have aligned. Well, this is the first day of spring, so I guess the moon is aligned.
Happy equinox.
There you go. Come on in, folks. There we go. Plus, I had some other stuff going on. I'll share that too. So here's our booze. Here's this. Yeah, so where are we? I'll tell you where. I've mentioned joy several times. It's not just joy. It's Joy Perini. So Joy Perini, this is an amazing woman. I will be the first to tell you, again, National Women in History Month. And it is hard to find a lot of women in the world of cocktails and bars. But Joy Perini, she's one for us. She's known as the bad girl of bourbon. And here's what's fun about it. So bourbon, when we talk about bourbon, typically that's a kind of the boys' club. It's the man's drink, right? This isn't me saying this. This is magazines. This is quoted. This is like, she broke the the highball glass ceiling, I guess. I don't know. But she got into the bourbon world. And in 2016, how far did she go? In 2016, she was inducted into the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame. Paul, is that a big deal? Well, I don't know. Let's see. 95% of all the bourbon in the world is produced in Kentucky. So I'm thinking the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame is a pretty big deal.
Didn't even know they had that.
Yeah. And the other thing, first woman to ever be inducted, Joy Perini. So there she is. Now, I've given you the very front end. You're like, all right, so what? So she just got into it? No. So she was born in 1946, and she comes from like 5 generations of a family that's been part of spirits, beer, alcohol, prohibition. Her grandparents were rum runners. So they used to, they got into boats and took it to Cuba. They did that. She tells a story about how they had a boat in their front yard that was a planter that had bullet holes in it because they got shot at, not while they were planting flowers, by the way. No, when they were running rum. Matter of fact,
Sorry, could you say that again?
No, I will not say it again, sir. But I don't know if you remember the show. Do you remember Boardwalk Empire?
Yeah.
One of the characters on there was actually based on her grandparents.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Now we have to go watch it.
I know. So anyway, she comes from all this. 1965, she finds herself in St. Croix. So I already love her.
Yeah.
Right? She's a waitress. And one night, so here's how, this isn't like she was like, I'm going to be a bartender. No, she's a waitress in St. Croix, 1965. And all of a sudden, the bartender walks out. And the owner's like, Joy, get behind the bar. You're making drinks. So she's like, people are ordering stuff. They're like, Singapore sling. And she's yelling back, how do I make it? And they're yelling at her. They're like, hanky panky. By the way, Hanky Panky made by another female bartender too. And she's like, how do I make it? And that's how she learns. And she falls in love with it. Now, because she's in St. Croix, she falls in love with rum. And she ends up becoming a great bartender, which is, that's a whole other story, because in the 60s, women were not bartenders. But in 1978, she packs up and she moves where everybody moves. When you leave St. Croix, you have one place to go, Kentucky. I don't know why she moved to Kentucky, but she did in 1978. And then she owned bourbon. She knew what she had to do. She fell in love with it. She learned about it. And she ended up taking over and becoming the go-to for the largest bourbon festival. She also wrote 2 books. One was called Kentucky Bourbon Cocktails. The second book called More Kentucky Bourbon Cocktails. And that's where we get our drink tonight. Yeah, she's pretty impressive. So, one of the drinks we're doing tonight. So, in the world of bourbon, I told you 95% of it comes out of Kentucky. There are also 9 big players of bourbon in Kentucky. One of them, so she actually devoted her book, and she gave 9 cocktails that she made, one for each of the big players. Jim Beam, one of those players. And so the drink tonight is called Devil in a Blue Dress. This is just a fun cocktail. So here it is. It's a pretty easy drink too. So the first thing we're doing is Jim Beam Devil's Cut. So the Devil's Cut, so if you aren't familiar with this as far as bourbon, what happens is when you make bourbon, it goes into a barrel. And there's 2 things that happen. Part of the bourbon alcohol evaporates, and that is what's called the angel share. And so it's believed that you lose part of it and it goes to the angels and all that. But then there's what's called the devil's cut. And what the devil's cut is that's the part that gets soaked into the barrel. So imagine you put all this bourbon, pre-bourbon, into a barrel. Part of it evaporates, angel share, and then some of it gets soaked into the wood. That's the devil's cut. Well, Jim Beam decided they found a way to extract that out of the barrel. And then they pulled it out of the barrel and then put it in with other bourbons, hence the devil's cut. And so good for them.
So it's super oaky?
Yeah. Long, strong vanilla. Smells great. So that's our first part of this.
Since I don't have pork here, I'm coming in.
Oh, yeah, come on in. 2 ounces. Oh, yeah. And for Shelby, listen to the gurgle. You ready?
Love a new bottle.
Love new bottle. 2 more ounces. So we got that. And then we're going 1 ounce triple sec. Pause. We're going to go Contra. Same thing. Just a nice fancier one. Oh, there it is.
Brand new bottle.
I wish it was. It's not. And 1 ounce each, so 2 ounces total. And then the last thing, the blue of this is blueberry juice. And can I tell you, we had a discussion yesterday. Shelby's like, there's no such thing as blueberry juice. I said, I swear I read the recipe. I mean, buy me a bunch of blueberries, I'll squeeze them, but I think there's blueberry juice.
I will say that.
Sorry, could you say that again?
No, sir, I can't.
I actually bought blueberries, put them in the cart, then went looking for blueberry juice. Found said blueberry juice. I was skeptical.
There it is, just blueberry.
But it is amazing.
Yeah, we've already tried it.
Yeah.
So there's 2 ounces and then 2 ounces. And folks, there it is.
Pretty.
And of course, I know Joy, had she known about it, she would have gone with Emergency. By the way, Emergency supporting Women in History Month every year in the last 3 years since we've been a partner. They don't know it with Emergency. Emergency supporting women everywhere. And we're going to do a little sprinkle there.
This could be like a blueberry pie with
Right?
lemon juice.
And then we're coming in, give it a shake. Always smile when you shake.
Engage the customer.
Amen, baby. All right. There it went.
Like that little foamy sound too.
Oh. Then all we're doing, folks, is coming back in. couple highball glasses. Ice them up.
Rock glasses.
Thanks, Shelby. Yeah, Shelby's correct. Those are rocks glasses. And then a strain over fresh ice. And you know it looks delicious, right?
Yeah, it does.
And then we are going to garnish with what I believe is well, I don't believe it's a lemon. I know it is. But I believe it's what we're going to garnish it with.
I'm glad you know your fruits.
You know, I've had days. Oh, here we go. And we're going to just do that. I think that'll be a nice.
Nice.
Right? Oh. Can you smell it?
Yeah. Yes, I think Margaret's going to like this one.
Look at that. Oh, how about that?
Beautiful.
Boom. There it is. Devil in a blue dress. Let's see what we got. It smells delicious. Oh, yes. That's it. God bless you, Joy. That's it. The Devil's Cut. I mean, that's a healthy bourbon for sure. You're gonna want to love your bourbon to do that. But then with that a little bit of blueberry, a little bit of citrus, and that triple sec cuts it. It's perfect. Hold
Blueberry
on.
Blueberry pie in a glass.
Oh, blueberry pie in a glass.
Chink.
Now,
Marmer just popped up. Can't wait to try this. I knew that Marmer would like this one.
yeah, it's a goodie. Now, let me finish my story about Joy. So, sadly, Joy did pass away in 2019. She bartended for over 50 years.
What bar?
Equus in Kentucky was one of the bars that she was at last. So fantastic woman. I didn't share this, but the reason she was called the bad girl of bourbon was actually from a magazine. So she got a lot of press because of her involvement with bourbon, but specifically because she was making bourbon cocktails. And people were calling her the bad girl of bourbon because they were telling her, you don't mix stuff with bourbon, you're ruining it. You drink it straight up. And she's like, if I can get people to drink bourbon, I'm doing the right thing. But they called her the bad girl of bourbon because she was doing that. And I think that's fantastic.
She was breaking the law.
She was breaking the law. My favorite thing I read about her was this. Somebody asked her, what is your favorite bourbon? And she said, I have to be very politically correct. And I will tell you this. My favorite bourbon is whatever one you're willing to buy me. And I just think that's fantastic. So to her, to all the women out there, I wore this for my daughter, her girls, high school. May you all grow up and may you all become wonderful women that leave your marks on the world, just like Joy did. Joy Perini, cheers to you. Cheers to all the women out there. Here we go.
Chink.
There you go. Folks, we will see you next Sunday. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Sorry, it's a little...
It's a little crazy, it's a little early. And we're not on YouTube. So YouTube is down right now because, I don't want to pat myself on the back. But I got a book coming out. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you about it soon.
Not a cocktail book.
It's not a cocktail book. It's a book. It's a real book. And
It's a professional development book.
it is. It's a little business book. Anyway, so YouTube is being a little bit modified to incorporate this new book, and we'll talk about it soon. And so just hang with us, folks, and have a cocktail. Cheers. It's spring. Joy's in the air, and Joy is giving us a glass. Cheers. Love you. Out.